Under the June snow, a track rutted by ice and trucks. It's the only way to get to Rinconada. You have certainly never heard of Rinconada. It's on Earth, but not quite a part of our world. 3 barriers protect this other world from the rest of us. The first is the intense cold, a perpetual winter where it's always below 0. Daytime temperatures are minus 15 degrees Celsius, and at night it drops to minus 25. The second barrier is the terrible lack of oxygen. The altimeter registers 18,000 feet. The third barrier belongs to the police. The world stops here, 2 kilometers from Rinconada. But this last bastion of the state, probably too far away from the capital, is half abandoned.
As you can see, the climate here is very difficult. It's really cold, and the clothes that are supplied by the police are just not suitable for these temperatures. So one way or another, we have to put up with this climate and do our best to find some warm clothes by ourselves. In August 1999 or 2000, a huge gust of wind blew off the roof of the police station. And ever since, water leaks into all the rooms. We have to put up with these conditions. We really don't have the choice because, unfortunately, we have to obey orders. The administration sends us here, and one way or another, we have to get on with it. There's no electricity in this police station, just a battery strong enough to supply us with light for about 4 hours. We do have a generator given by the state to provide us with electric current, but it runs out of petrol. With our petrol ration, we can run it 8 or 10 days a month, so the rest of the time, 20 days a month, we have no electricity.
Raising and lowering the barrier constitutes the main work of the police. Besides, what else could 5 policemen do, badly equipped and with no vehicle, faced with the 20,000 inhabitants of Rinconada? Several inquiries have been opened concerning human sacrifices, but not one has ever led to anything. Rinconada, the highest shantytown in the world. 20,000 people clinging onto the rocks at the edge of the glacier at an altitude of 18,000 feet. 20,000 people who each day suffer from the cold and lack of oxygen. 20,000 people in this forgotten town, with no water, no sewers, no toilets, no heating. Over the last 500 years, Rinconada's witnessed the dreams and suffering of many. The Incas were the first to arrive, then the Spanish, and today, those who have nothing to lose and want to escape. From unemployment, their past, or the law. The only thing that counts in Rinconada is gold. The whole town's obsessed by the nuggets of gold trapped under the glacier. Here there is no state, no laws, only rules, codes, and beliefs. In Rinconada, under the glacier and in the mountains, there is gold. Probably lots of gold. However, the gold is found in small seams, which makes it very difficult to extract. The mine in Rinconada is a small-scale mine, which can only be exploited manually with a large number of miners, thus giving minimal profit. The mountain and all its resources belong to the state of Peru, which rents it out to a mining company. The company relets concessions to some 300 small contractors who, with a limited surface, are able to dig one or more mine shafts. The miners are taken on according to the old traditions of cachorreo. Cachorreo is an oral contract by which the miners work for free for the contractors for a month. After 30 days of unpaid work, the miners are allowed to work the mine for their own profit for one day. It's a bit like a lottery. If the seam is good, the miners can survive the following month, perhaps even save a bit. But if the seam is poor in gold, the miners have to borrow or go without some of their food. Around 5% of the miners live well. For the rest, the average income is between $40 and $100 a month. Everybody here dreams of one day finding a 500-gram nugget, even a kilo. Everyone talks about it, but it never happens. In the town, the smell is unbearable. There is no water, no toilets, no sewers. Just an open trench in the middle of the main road where the rubbish and excrement is deposited in the open air. The trench can only absorb a tiny proportion of all the refuse. The majority is dumped between the houses or in the immediate surroundings of the town. The excrement and rubbish of 20,000 people have been piling up day after day around the houses for dozens of years, making the air unbreathable and allowing all sorts of infections to spread, particularly amongst the children. This is high mountain country, so of course it snows upon the heaps of rubbish and excrement. As the snow melts, it forms polluted streams which run into the lake and river at the outfall of the glacier. In former times, the lake was considered a pure water sanctuary. Today it carries downstream the pollution from Rinconada. Glaciers represent the last natural resource of drinking water. When water is polluted at this level, the damage to plant, animal and human life is irreversible. The drinking water reserves of hundreds of thousands of people are currently threatened by Rinconada. The authorities seem to think that small-scale mines only cause pollution locally. In fact, what we have here are time bombs for the ecosystem of the entire country.